What's going on, guys? Still Twins back at you with another video previewing the Week 12 matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos.
Absolutely, man. As you guys know, the Steelers and Broncos have a lot of history, man. Obviously, the 2005 AFC Championship game, which sent us into the
Super Bowl 40 when we beat the Seahawks, won our 5th Super Bowl.
Right, that comes to mind. Obviously, I don't want to bring back any bad memories, Steelers fans, but the Tebow game. Thanks, Ike Taylor, by the way. And I gotta say, that was probably the start of the decline for Ike Taylor in his career. It really kind of was.
Yeah.
Of course, the iconic game in, I believe, what was it, Week 15, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2015, where we won, I want to say, 34-27 when Brock Osweiler was starting.
I believe
that
so.
iconic game when the Broncos had #1 defense, and AB and Ben went off, as well as Bryant and Wheaton.
And obviously, the same year that in the divisional round when Peyton Manning was playing.
Right, and of course, fumble the damn ball, and yeah.
Right, but Steelers and Broncos got some really great history between the two.
They have a lot of rich history. They do. And by the way, we want to apologize for our voices. They are completely shot because we are dealing. I believe we're coming on with a flu or a cold or whatever. But I think most of that has to do with us screaming at the TV against the Steelers and screaming at the TV because of the Steelers and Broncos game, because that shit was fucking bananas.
Yeah, it was.
So and because of that, this game could definitely be considered a trap game, specifically because the Broncos, outside of a few things, aren't really looking too good. At the same time, we never perform, or we don't really have a good history of performing good in Denver.
No, we really don't.
But after a game like the Jags, where we made that impressive and resilient comeback, we could come into their house and get another great win and another potential trap game, especially with the fact that we are literally, if we win this game, we are half a game away from being the #1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
Outside of the Chiefs, of course. By the way, thanks to Rams for beating the Chiefs. That was an iconic game.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and perhaps the greatest game I've ever seen.
Yes,
to be honest with you.
But besides that, of course, Steelers and Broncos, man. Let's start with the Broncos, man. I mean, like I said, outside of a few things, they don't really impress me much. Their defense is still mediocre, or they are mediocre.
Yeah, that no-fly zone is
long.
Really. It's not long gone, but it's not there like it used to be.
They still have Chris Harris. They still have Bradley Roby. Personally, I find Bradley Roby as a pure slot guy. I don't see him as an outside guy.
To be honest with you, I thought he could be a nice outside guy, but the more I see it, I think he should just stick in the slot.
Right.
Quite frankly, I think Adam Jones could do fine outside.
Right.
And that's another guy. Adam Jones. We got a lot of history and chemistry with him. Back when he was a Bengal.
But he's no Aqib Talib, and I think that he's almost washed up at this point.
Yeah, really.
And obviously, Bradley Chubb and Von Miller is a fucking scary pass rush, scary thought, scary matchup.
And you got other linebackers like Shaquille Barrett and Brandon Marshall,
Shane Ray. Obviously, you got Derek Wolfe. They got a very good front seven.
Yeah, they
really do. And their pass rush led by Von Miller and Bradley Chubb going off. Being on the candidate to be defensive rookie of the year. That's definitely going to be a key matchup and definitely something to watch out for, especially with how impressive our offensive line has been performing.
Exactly.
So, but outside of that, and maybe the rushing game, and maybe a decent receiving core with former Steeler Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton.
That's really pretty much it, for the Broncos. They got some good players. They got some keys here and there on their team, but it's still missing some stuff. Like especially with the quarterback, because Case Keenum ain't what he used to be back last year when he was with Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't know what is the difference between last year and this year. Maybe he was just in the right system. Maybe he just had great players revolved around him.
Or maybe the right coach. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. But he's just not the same person, you know.
He is showing that he should have been a backup. Truly.
Yeah, because with Minnesota, he was just leading the Vikings to wins and spectacular games. With the Broncos, he's leading them to freaking losses.
Right.
Really.
And like we said, we don't know what it is. Maybe it's the system, maybe it's the players, maybe it's the coaching. But
But Case Keenum doesn't really worry me too much. It's just some players on the defense and the rushing game. That's just about it for the Broncos. Yeah. Other than that, it's really nothing else, really.
Right. We may be underestimating the Broncos a little bit, but there's just nothing outside of that really surprises me. And of course, their offensive line is very bruised up, and I think that's where all our pass rush has to eat.
I believe that 3 of their starters are actually out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So that's something that our pass rush and our front seven are going to have to take advantage of.
As they should. Our defensive line and our pass rush and our front seven should completely eat that entire, and they should feast like it's fucking Thanksgiving
for the last,
again.
Yeah, seriously. In the last couple games, they've been consistent with the pass rush and the sacks and everything that they've been doing. So I'm hoping they can continue that right here.
Right.
Because there's no doubt in my mind that the defense should be able to hold up their own end of the stick. Because they did well. Well, any defense can do well against Blake Bortles, but they did okay for some part against Leonard Fournette.
Right. And you know that's the thing that worries me mostly about this game is their rushing offense. You know they're not on the level of a Leonard Fournette or a Carlos Hyde or a T.J. Yeldon trio, but Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman are still a very good duo, and they can be terrifying a little bit to think about.
Yeah, they really
can. But the way I see it, if our offense can somewhat limit that, and if they can definitely limit the passing game and do exactly what they did last week and save our asses more times than not and perform very, very good, you know, I think that our offense could definitely, and if our offense can get on the roll, I think we can book a dub pretty nicely.
Oh, definitely.
Knowing that it's in Denver, knowing this is a trap game, we can't say that with full confidence and with full ease.
The same thing that I can definitely see this as a crap.
This could be a crappy game if we fucking lose.
Yeah, seriously. But I can definitely see this as a trap game. But the thing with that is I'm hoping from last week's debacle performance by just the offense overall until, the comeback.
Right.
I'm hoping that we've learned from that experience and learned from that performance and go into Denver and make a statement right here.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping because a game like that to Jacksonville, you got to learn from that.
Yes.
You got to watch over tape. You got to learn from your mistakes. And then the next game, no matter who you're facing, you gotta ball out. You gotta do something. You have to make a statement.
Right, and with the opponents coming up like the Chargers and the Saints and the Patriots, the schedule doesn't get any easier. So this would be a big win to set a statement and just continue upon the win streak that we are on with 6 straight.
6 straight games, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be nice to increase on that win pile. And just gain some momentum heading into that shit because that shit's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But and that's what kind of worries me, man, because this is, in my opinion, this is definitely a trap game. But the way I see it, like I said, man, if our defense can do what they did last week and try to limit the rushing game, do it even better what they did last week, and definitely limit the passing game and establish a great pass rush early on.
Be consistent with that. I think the defense can do just fine. I think we can win if the offense can allow no penalties. Can
protect Ben because that's massive.
Protect Ben
because their pass rush is massive.
Decrease the turnovers or just give up no turnovers whatsoever and just do what you can do really on offense
and continue to feed Colin the ball.
I think we can definitely come out with a W right here.
Yeah, totally. I can definitely see. I'm sure Antonio Brown and Chris Harris should be a fun matchup. But as we saw in 2015, Antonio Brown completely torched him. And honestly, that was with that was when the Broncos defense was much stronger and when he had a nice corner and Aqib Talib to compliment him, and AB still torched him for 2 touchdowns. So I can definitely see AB potentially going off here with Juju on the opposite side, who I find much better than Martavis Bryant even back in 2015. And I find this offense much stronger than that 2015 season.
And the way Connor's been producing,
exactly.
I think this offense can easily go off.
Oh yeah, completely. But knowing it's in Denver, knowing this is
a possible trap game, it's hard to really see that because you know how the Steelers have history with mediocre to terrible teams.
Right. Hopefully that bug doesn't bite us again, and hopefully we have a much better performance than we did last week and a more great performance. But it's possible, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But basically keys for the to win this game for the offense is definitely protect Ben offensive line, keep doing what it's doing, continue to feed Colin the ball, spread the ball a little more, no turnovers, no penalties, and just dominate. Just come out balling. Yeah. As for the defense, just try to limit the rushing game, definitely limit the passing game, and establish a great fucking pass rush and continue the pressure throughout the entire game. Because if we do that, I think we can slide out of Denver with a very nice dub and head into who we have next week. I want to say the Chargers.
It's the Chargers, and that's going to be a tough game. So for this game, this has to be a statement game right here.
Yes.
This has to be.
Yes. We're definitely not going to underestimate the Broncos. They usually give us a tough challenge. And I could definitely see a very close, tough game here. But we'll see what happens. This should be a very tough, or this should be a very interesting game, man.
It could be a tough game. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll see what happens. It should be a very interesting game. It should be a fun one. Hopefully, Steelers get out with a dub. Very nice move dub. Head into next week with a very tough challenge up ahead of us. But let's just focus on this week, man. We have the Denver Broncos.
Take one game at a time.
Absolutely.
Take one game at a time. It's a long stretch of games for the rest of the season, but take one game at a time. Like me and Danny said back in the Week 1 preview against the Browns, take one game at a time.
Right.
This is what you gotta do here.
Exactly. So let's just head into Denver. Let's get a very nice dub. Let's smoke these Broncos. And I understand that's a very pun, if you know what I mean. But anyway, guys, that's the preview. Give us your guys' thoughts and opinions, comments below. And we want to give everyone a very happy, safe, and very
wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes. So everyone watching, happy Thanksgiving. Have a very safe and lovable holiday. Spend some time with your family. Definitely cherish it. And
enjoy the food, obviously.
Absolutely, and let us know what you guys are thankful for in the comments below, of course. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and let's just go into Denver, and hopefully we get a very nice and smooth dub, man. Let's go.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!